getting hit by a brick wall would have been easier. My initial reaction was that I was going to die. And my son was going to graduate from college that May, and I was just convinced, because my pathology reports kept coming back with the DNA was bad, and the scores from 0 to 9 on mine were 9, and I knew that the doctors were just not telling me that I was going to die, and it was very hard. It's like being hit by unexpected a lightning strike. It's that devastating initially. And
when I found out that I had cancer, and I told you the first person I told was a coworker. Wasn't even my husband, it was a coworker, you know, and it was a gentleman that I had worked with for 10 years, and so I knew him real well, and I boo-hooed and cried on his shoulder and said, it's going to be okay, it's going to be all right. Well, when I started getting on the phone and calling my friends, and my good friends, you know, my girlfriends, and some of them were guys, you know, it didn't matter to me, and telling them what I'm up against. You know, I have breast cancer, I'm going to be going through surgery, and my husband said, is there anyone you're not going to tell? And he felt like it was something that was very private and shouldn't be talked about. And I told him, I said, I don't know how to explain this to you, but the more you talk about it, the easier it is to accept. And you start seeing hope at the end of it. You know, it's not gloomy and the end of the world, I'm going to die. It's, I'm going to get this taken care of, and then I'm going to do that, you know. And he says, well, I wouldn't be surprised to open up the newspaper tomorrow and see in the headlines, Denise has cancer. And I says,
when I first found out that I was diagnosed with cancer at that time, you know, from what I knew, was like a death sentence. Cancer, it's like, wow, I can't have cancer, I'm too young. I can't have cancer. Maybe they made a mistake, but they didn't. They didn't. And what I found out also was that I needed to fight. I need to want to survive. I need to change my mind thinking that cancer was a death sentence. It was a life sentence. And I wanted to live. And I'm enjoying life.
When I first found the lump, I felt immediately that it was not good. I had had other lumps in the past, but this particular one just felt different. And I had this sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that this was not going to be a good diagnosis. I kept my head up. My doctors all said, you know, only 1 in so many are positive, so you need to just keep your head up and not worry. And I had very strong family support, and I'm a very strong person, so I didn't let it rule my life until I was actually diagnosed. I thought I will keep I'll keep my chin up, and I will not let that be my every thought. But still, when that call came in, and I went to the phone, and the doctor said, I need to see you and your husband at my office, my heart started racing. I felt like I was going to be sick. There were ladies at the office that saw my face when I had the phone call and offered to drive me to the doctors. And I think I remained very cool, but just that thought process going through my mind, and that the heart racing and the fear that I felt, because I knew if he was calling me to his office, that he was calling me to tell me that it was cancer, it was a malignant tumor and not just a cyst.
I was really scared, and not just a little scared, but a lot. And what made me even more fearful was that, I had felt this lump, and I had problems with that breast since November, and here it was in June. It was June 4th, and that had been so many months since I had noticed that something was wrong. I remember thinking right away, I'm going to die. it's gone on too long, and now the cancer is probably everywhere, and I'm going to die. That was my initial thought. I was, yes, I was upset. I was pretty angry. You know, the world, people always tell you that life is unfair. There's no such thing as a fair life, but that, you don't really believe that. And at 28, you know, you don't really think that anything bad is going to happen to you. You're still in that stage where you feel invincible and nothing bad will happen. At least not until you're, you know, like in your 40s or 50s or something. So this was really unexpected, and I was really angry and really scared because I just had this new baby, and I felt like, you know, angry that I might be torn away from him, kind of angry at other people for not even knowing what they had, you know, all the blessings that they had, that they didn't have to go through this. You know, other new mothers that didn't have to think about being separated from their children by death, or, you know, being too tired to take care of the baby. So that part was really hard. At the graduation, I was kind of, you know, envious of everyone else that they could enjoy, you know, what we'd worked hard for the last 4 years. Whereas I couldn't, and I felt like I was still in that stage where I thought I was dying. So, you know, that was very, very bittersweet. It was a bittersweet moment. So, and then there's a lot of fear that gets to you, maybe not so much in the daytime, but when you're trying to sleep at night, that's a really bad time.